Love is a wonderful thing, but it is not always simple. There are moments when you feel like you understand everything, but then there are times when you feel confused and lost. So how to overcome the challenges in love? Have you ever wondered why some women can leave a man thinking about them all day, with just a single text? It's not about sending dozens of messages or using perfect words. It's about emotion, connection, timing. When done right, texting becomes more than communication, it becomes chemistry. In this video, you'll discover 6 subtle but powerful ways to text a man that will make you linger in his mind, stir his heart, and leave him craving more. These aren't tricks, they're the kind of messages that create real emotional impact. Let's dive into how to text in a way he'll never forget. Welcome to the channel, Sophia's Knowledge, and my name is Sophia. This is where we will explore, learn, and share valuable lessons about love. In today's video, Sophia will reveal to you 6 ways to text a man to make him miss you all day. Let's explore with Sophia the secrets to building a strong and meaningful love. Before we begin, find a quiet place, put on your headphones and relax. Let all your worries go away, and let the messages in this video help you calm down and feel the most complete. Are you ready? Let's start now. Way 1. Evoke emotion instead of asking simple questions. In the world of texting, it's easy to fall into the habit of sending simple, routine messages. What are you doing? Have you eaten yet? Or, how was your day? Are all too common. While there's nothing wrong with checking in, these questions rarely stir the heart or ignite deep emotions. If you want to make a man think about you all day long, you have to go beyond the surface. You need to make him feel something. Emotion is the language of connection. When someone makes us feel something meaningful, whether it's nostalgia, happiness, warmth, or even curiosity, we remember them. We carry them with us through our day. That's exactly what you want to create when you text a man you're interested in. Not just a brief exchange of information, but a lingering emotional impact. So, how do you evoke emotion through text? The key is to go personal, specific, and heartfelt. Instead of asking, "How's your day going?" say something like, "I passed by that little bakery you love today. The smell reminded me of the last time we were there and how you couldn't stop smiling after that chocolate croissant." See the difference? One question is a polite formality. The other is a vivid memory that pulls him back into a moment you shared. It makes him smile. It makes him feel seen. It makes him remember you. When you evoke emotions, you're tapping into a part of the male psyche that's often undernourished, his softer side. Most men are used to being strong, logical, and focused on tasks. But when a woman brings out his emotional side, even through something as simple as a text message, she becomes unforgettable. She becomes someone he feels safe with. Someone he can emotionally relax around. Texting in a way that sparks emotion doesn't mean being overly sentimental or dramatic. It simply means being thoughtful. Here's another example. Instead of saying, "Good morning," try, "Woke up and remembered that laugh you made last night. It instantly made my morning better." That's the kind of message that lingers. It makes him picture you. It makes him replay that moment. It makes him feel warm and connected, even if he's miles away. Or imagine sending this out of the blue in the middle of a busy day. "I heard a song that reminded me of that night we stayed up talking until 2 a.m. Still one of my favorite nights." You didn't ask him anything. You didn't demand a response. But you planted a powerful emotional image in his mind. That's how you become unforgettable. That's how he starts to associate you with comfort, intimacy, and something real. Even a single line can change the tone of a conversation entirely. Let's compare. Standard message, "Busy day?" Emotionally rich message, "I know your schedule is packed today. Just wanted to say I admire how you always push through, even when things get hectic." The first is a polite inquiry. The second is an appreciation. Appreciation is a powerful emotional trigger, especially for men who often feel their efforts go unnoticed. When you show that you see him, not just his actions, but his character, you become someone he cherishes. One of the most effective emotional triggers is shared nostalgia. If you've had even a few special moments with him, use those memories to bring back the feelings associated with them. The trick is to be specific. Don't just say, "Remember our date?" Say, "I was sipping tea today and it reminded me of that tiny cafe where we accidentally sat at the couple's table with the rose in the middle. Still cracks me up." He will smile. He will remember. And he will miss you, because you reminded him not just of the moment, but of the feeling he had with you. You're not just telling stories. You're weaving emotional threads. Every time you reach into his memory and touch a moment, you strengthen the bond between you. And what if you haven't shared many experiences yet? Use imagination. Create emotional imagery by letting him in on your thoughts. Try something like, "It's such a cozy rainy day today. If you were here, I'd probably steal your hoodie and force you to watch a rom-com that's playful, emotionally charged, and paints a picture he won't forget." The most beautiful part about evoking emotion is that it invites authenticity. It gives both of you permission to feel more, share more, and connect on a deeper level. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. And the more unforgettable you become in his eyes. Because here's the truth, men remember how you made them feel. Not what you wore. Not what exact words you said. But the warmth, the joy, the intimacy, those are the things that stay with them long after the screen is locked. So the next time you're tempted to send a dry, routine message, pause. Think about what memory you could bring back. What image you could paint. What appreciation you could show. And then hit send. Let your words do more than fill the silence. Let them echo in his heart. That's how you make him think about you all day. What do you think about this? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. I look forward to hearing from you and discussing further. Don't forget to like if you find this content useful and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future posts. Thank you very much. Let's continue together. Way 2. Use unexpected and sincere compliments. There's something powerful about a compliment that comes from the heart and arrives when it's least expected. While most people are used to compliments on their appearance or achievements, what truly leaves a lasting impact are words that go deeper, words that speak to a person's character, their essence, their soul. For a man, receiving a genuine and unexpected compliment from a woman he cares about can stay with him long after the conversation ends. In a world where men are often expected to be strong, composed, and emotionally reserved, they rarely hear affirmations that go beyond the surface. They carry burdens, insecurities, and silent doubts just like anyone else, but few people take the time to acknowledge them. That's why, when you offer a compliment that speaks to who he truly is, it doesn't just brighten his day, it etches you into his heart. Let's imagine a simple scenario. He shares a story with you about something difficult he went through at work. Instead of saying "that sounds tough," you say, "I admire the way you stayed calm and handled that with so much integrity." Not everyone could do that. That sentence alone has the power to shift how he sees you. Not just as someone who listens, but someone who sees him. Someone who values the way he moves through the world. Someone who acknowledges the effort he puts into being the kind of man he wants to be. That kind of compliment is rare. And that's exactly why it matters so much. Unexpected compliments hit differently because they come without warning. He's not fishing for praise. He's not trying to impress you. He's just being himself. And then, out of nowhere, you offer a sentence that tells him he's appreciated, respected, and admired. These compliments don't need to be dramatic. They don't need to be poetic. They just need to be real. For example, "You know what I love about you? You always make people feel safe when they're around you. You're the kind of person people count on, and that's something I deeply respect. I notice how thoughtful you are, even when no one else is paying attention." These are the kinds of words that stay with a man throughout his day. While others may focus on surface-level things, you are focusing on substance. You are making him feel seen in a way that is both intimate and unforgettable. Compliments like these also build emotional intimacy. When you point out something beautiful about him that has nothing to do with his looks or his status, you're telling him that you value the real him. You're saying, "I see beyond what everyone else sees. I see you." This is especially powerful when the compliment reflects something he might not even realize about himself. Perhaps he doesn't know how reassuring his presence is. Perhaps he never noticed how naturally he leads with kindness. When you point it out, you give him a mirror to see himself in a new light, and in that mirror, he sees the reflection of someone who is worth loving. There's also beauty in praising his small gestures. Maybe he opens doors without thinking. Maybe he checks in on his friends without expecting anything in return. Maybe he remembers the little details you tell him. Telling him, "I love how you remember the things I say, even the little ones. It makes me feel really valued," is a message that will echo in his heart far longer than you might expect. Why? Because men are often taught to express love through actions, not words. When you recognize and affirm those actions, you're validating his love language. You're letting him know that his efforts are not going unnoticed. And that makes him want to do more, give more, be more, for you. There's also something incredibly attractive about a woman who gives without agenda. A compliment that isn't tied to manipulation, expectation, or flattery feels sincere. It doesn't say, "I'm complimenting you so you'll like me more." It says, "I see something good in you, and I just wanted you to know." That's authenticity. That's warmth. That's rare. And the timing? It matters. Send a random message when he's least expecting it. When he's busy. When he's quiet. When he's not trying to impress anyone. Say, "I was just thinking about how strong you are," not in a loud way, but in a quiet, steady kind of way. "It's something I truly admire about you." Or, "You probably don't hear this enough, but your calm energy makes people feel safe. It's something really special." These words will stay with him. Not because you were trying to charm him, but because you touched something real. In romantic connection, the words we choose can either be forgettable or unforgettable. A simple compliment, spoken from the heart, becomes a soft echo in someone's mind. It becomes the reason they smile in the middle of a long day. It becomes the moment they realize that someone out there truly sees them, not just for what they do, but for who they are. And when a man feels seen, he remembers. He cherishes. He holds on. So the next time you talk to him, look for that one thing he might not know about himself. That one quiet strength. That one beautiful habit. That one part of him that makes him different. Then say it. And let your words do what most messages never do, leave a mark on his heart. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends or family to spread the value. And if you have any questions or ideas, leave them in the comments. I'm always listening and ready to answer. Let's continue together. Way 3. Spark curiosity, but don't reveal everything. In relationships, mystery is often underestimated. We tend to believe that the more we share, the closer someone will feel to us. While openness is indeed essential, revealing everything too soon can dull the excitement. Especially in the early stages of attraction, curiosity is a powerful emotional driver. It pulls someone in. It makes them crave more of you. It makes your presence linger in their thoughts throughout the day. Men, by nature, are problem solvers and explorers. They're intrigued by things that aren't easily accessible or fully understood. When a woman gives just enough to pique his interest but not enough to satisfy it completely, she becomes a puzzle he wants to solve. Not because she's playing games, but because she naturally invites him into her world, slowly, intentionally, and with grace. So how do you create this sense of curiosity through text? The secret lies in saying just enough to stir his imagination while leaving room for wonder. Let's begin with a simple example. Instead of texting, "I had a great day today, try this, today turned out way more interesting than I expected. I'll tell you later." That one sentence plants a seed in his mind. Now he's wondering, what happened? Why was it unexpected? Was it something exciting, funny, emotional? His mind starts filling in the blanks. And while he might respond right away with questions, the real impact comes after, when he's still thinking about your message hours later. You haven't given him everything, but you've given him enough to keep thinking about you. Another way to spark curiosity is to share glimpses of your life without explaining every detail. For example, "Something reminded me of you today, but I'm not sure I should say what it was." That sentence is irresistible. It creates an emotional hook. What was it? Was it something romantic? Something embarrassing? Something sweet? He might ask, but even if you tease him with a smile or delay your answer, he's already engaged. His attention is yours. The beauty of curiosity is that it creates emotional movement. It keeps the connection alive even in your absence. When you're not texting, he's still thinking. When he hears a song, sees a photo, or walks down the street, he might remember your words and wonder what you were referring to. The best part? You're not being manipulative. You're simply being thoughtful with your words. You're allowing space for imagination. That's not a game, it's an art. Here's another example. Let's say you've just gotten home after spending time with friends. Instead of saying, "I'm home now," try, "Remind me to tell you about something hilarious that happened tonight." You're going to love it. He doesn't just get a status update. He gets a preview. A teaser. And now he's anticipating the next message. He's emotionally involved. And most importantly, he's associating you with interest, laughter, and positive energy. This kind of communication works especially well when combined with subtle flirtation. Imagine saying, "I had a dream about you last night, not sure if I should tell you though." Just like that, you've created emotional tension. He's intrigued. He wants to know more. And even if you delay the details or only share part of the dream, you've already accomplished your goal. He's thinking about you. Creating curiosity also helps you stand out. Most people text in predictable ways. They say everything at once. They explain every thought. They leave nothing to wonder. But when your messages have depth, mystery, and restraint, you become the woman he cannot forget. Men often fall in love with how a woman makes them feel. When you stir curiosity, you activate his emotions. You give him a sense of pursuit, of discovery. And in doing so, you make the experience of getting to know you feel like a journey, not a transaction. But be mindful, curiosity should never feel manipulative or cold. It should always be rooted in warmth and sincerity. Your goal is not to confuse him, but to engage him. To show him that your world is layered, rich, and worth exploring. That you have stories to tell, thoughts to share, and secrets to unfold, one by one, when the moment is right. Sometimes, it's not even about what you say, but what you choose not to say. A pause. A shift in tone. A hint of something more. All of these subtle choices create emotional space for him to lean in. Texting with mystery does not mean you're distant. It means you're intentional. You know the power of pacing. You understand that anticipation heightens desire. It's like reading a novel. You don't want the author to tell you everything in the first chapter. You want to turn the pages, to guess, to wonder, to feel the tension build. That's what makes a story unforgettable. You are that story. Let him turn your pages slowly. Let him savor every sentence. Let him wait for the next message, not because you're withholding, but because you're offering something more meaningful than noise. You're offering intrigue. You're offering connection. You're offering a reason to keep thinking about you. And that, more than anything, is how you make a man miss you, hour after hour, day after day. Way 4. Text him when he least expects it. Timing is everything. In love, in communication, and especially in texting, when you say something can be just as impactful as what you say. If you want to leave a lasting impression and make a man think about you throughout his day, one of the most effective things you can do is text him at a moment he's not expecting it. Most people fall into predictable texting patterns. Good morning messages. Good night wishes. Check-ins during lunch breaks. While those routines can create comfort, they rarely spark surprise or emotional impact. If you want to stand out and stay on his mind, sometimes you need to break the rhythm. Imagine this. He's in the middle of a stressful workday. His mind is buried in deadlines, emails, and responsibilities. Suddenly, his phone lights up with a message from you. It says, "I know you're probably swamped right now, but I just wanted to remind you how proud I am of everything you're doing. You've got this." That message doesn't ask for anything. It doesn't interrupt. It simply arrives like a warm breeze in the middle of a storm. It makes him pause. It makes him smile. And most importantly, it makes him feel something. Unexpected texts like these are powerful because they're not tied to obligation. They feel spontaneous, genuine, thoughtful. When a man receives a message from you at a time he wasn't expecting, it creates a ripple effect in his day. Suddenly, his thoughts shift, from stress to you. From the external world to the internal emotion you just stirred. Sometimes, it's not even about encouragement. It can be something simple and sweet, like, "Just saw a dog that reminded me of the way you laugh. It made my day." That line might seem small, but its emotional impact is big. It tells him he's on your mind even in the most ordinary moments. And because it comes without prompt or pattern, it catches him off guard in the best way. There's something beautiful about being remembered when someone is not trying to be remembered. It feels more real. More intimate. More sincere. Texting when he least expects it also shows that your connection with him isn't transactional. You're not just texting because he texted first. You're not keeping score. You're reaching out because you want to, not because you have to. That energy is rare, and men notice it more than they let on. Let's say it's a random Wednesday night, and he's unwinding alone. He's not expecting anything from anyone. Suddenly, he receives, "Came across a quote tonight that made me think of you." It said, "Real strength is quiet, steady, and kind." That's you. That message does more than compliment him. It reminds him of the emotional connection you're building. It makes him reflect on who he is, and how you see him. And once again, it plants your presence in his mind long after the message is read. Timing also enhances romance. A playful message in the middle of a meeting. A soft "I miss you" while he's running errands. A flirty thought during a moment of silence. These little surprises are emotional spark plugs. They light up the ordinary and turn it into something memorable. For example, "Bet you didn't expect a message from me right now. Just wanted to say, your voice popped into my head, and I kind of didn't want it to leave." He may smile. He may blush. He may not be able to stop thinking about you for the next several hours. That's the power of timing. Texting when he least expects it also communicates emotional intelligence. You're not bombarding him with messages when he's clearly busy. You're not demanding his attention. You're offering a moment of connection, a breath of fresh air, exactly when he didn't know he needed it. Sometimes, it's as simple as saying, "Don't reply. Just wanted you to know I was thinking about you." That line alone shows maturity, confidence, and care. It relieves pressure. It gives him space. And paradoxically, by asking for nothing, you give him everything. You give him peace. You give him thought. You give him you. The key is sincerity. These messages shouldn't be manipulative or timed for effect. They should come from a place of genuine care. Let your instincts guide you. If you think of him in the middle of the afternoon, say it. If a song reminds you of him at midnight, share it. If you feel the urge to encourage him during his toughest hour, don't hold back. Your timing will feel perfect not because it follows a script, but because it follows your heart. Over time, these unexpected messages create a rhythm of their own. A beautiful, unpredictable rhythm. One that he starts to look forward to, even if he doesn't realize it. One that makes him smile when he sees your name pop up on his screen, wondering what thoughtful or playful thing you'll say next. And that's how you become part of his daily thoughts. Not by demanding attention, but by offering presence. Not by routine, but by resonance. So text him when he least expects it. Let your words arrive like sunshine through clouds. Let your timing speak louder than 100 perfect replies. Because sometimes, the most unforgettable messages are the ones we never saw coming. Way 5. Know how to gently remind him of intimacy. There's an art to being close without being too obvious. A delicate balance between suggestion and subtlety. When it comes to texting, one of the most powerful ways to stay on a man's mind is by gently reminding him of the intimacy you share, or could share. Not in a bold or provocative way, but in a way that stirs his imagination and touches something tender inside him. Emotional and physical intimacy are powerful connectors. They create warmth, familiarity, and comfort. But when you bring them into conversation with a light touch, especially through text, they carry even more weight. Why? Because words that suggest intimacy without fully revealing it leave room for him to feel, imagine, and crave more. It's not about seduction. It's about creating closeness, reminding him that being near you, emotionally, physically, or both, is something he desires, sometimes without even realizing it. Let's look at a simple example. You're texting him on a cold evening. Instead of saying, "It's chilly tonight," you could say, "It's one of those nights where I wish I could curl up next to you under a blanket." Everything would feel a little warmer. That sentence doesn't describe an explicit scene. It's soft, suggestive, familiar. It paints a picture. And that picture, once imagined, is hard to forget. Moments like these tap into his emotional memory. If you've ever shared physical closeness before, your words bring those moments back. If you haven't, they create a gentle preview. Either way, he starts to associate you with comfort, warmth, and connection. The magic lies in the details. Try something like, "Wearing your hoodie today. It still smells like you. It made me miss the way you hold me." You're not asking for anything. You're not being dramatic. You're simply sharing a moment. But that moment, however brief, carries powerful emotional undertones. It says, "You matter to me," without ever having to use those words. Another powerful approach is to evoke touch in a non-physical way. For instance, "Rough day. I wish I could hear your voice right now. It always calms me down." Here, the mention of his voice becomes a symbol of his presence. You've turned a simple part of him into a source of comfort. That's intimacy. It's about being emotionally present even when you're not physically together. What makes this strategy so effective is that it's rooted in vulnerability. When you gently express your desire for closeness, you're not just being romantic. You're letting him in. You're showing him that he brings something to your life that no one else does. You're showing him that his presence, his energy, his voice, his nearness, matters to you. That kind of connection is rare. And it's unforgettable. Another way to remind him of intimacy is to refer to private jokes or quiet moments you've shared. Say something like, "Remember that night we stayed up too late just talking and laughing about nothing? I think I miss that the most." You're not just recalling a memory. You're reopening a feeling. You're inviting him back into a shared emotional space. And that space becomes sacred because it belongs only to the two of you. Sometimes, you don't even need to reference a real moment. You can create one with imagination. Text him, "Just imagined what it would be like to slow dance with you in the kitchen, barefoot, while a song plays in the background." This is the kind of image that makes a man stop and breathe. It's quiet, intimate, unexpected. And it shows that your connection isn't just based on conversation. It's based on feeling, on presence, on closeness. And the truth is, men long for intimacy just as much as women do. They may not always say it. They may not always show it. But when a woman gently opens the door to emotional closeness, without pressure, without demand, most men will walk through it and never want to leave. Because it's rare to feel safe and desired at the same time. Gently reminding him of intimacy also builds anticipation. It's not just about what has happened between you, but what could happen. Every message becomes a thread of connection. Every word builds a bridge. And the more bridges you build, the more he wants to cross them. The key is to stay authentic. Don't overdo it. Don't force it. Just share how you feel in small, heartfelt ways. Let your words carry your warmth. Let them be an extension of your presence. Sometimes, a message as simple as, "Missing the way your hand fits in mine," can stay with him for hours. Because that sentence isn't just about touch. It's about belonging. It's about the feeling of being held, both physically and emotionally. When a man feels that from a woman, he doesn't forget her. He doesn't move on easily. Because what you've given him isn't just attention, it's closeness. And that's something far more powerful than attraction alone. So the next time you text him, think about what intimacy means to you. Think about the little ways he makes you feel safe, connected, or comforted. Then tell him. Gently. Softly. Truthfully. Let your words be a whisper that stays in his heart. That's how you become the person he doesn't just want, but the one he needs to feel whole. Way 6. End the conversation with a subtle hint of a date. Sometimes, the most memorable part of a conversation is how it ends. The final words we leave someone with can linger in their mind, sparking imagination, emotion, and anticipation. If you want to make a man think about you long after the texting stops, consider ending the conversation not with a goodbye, but with a gentle invitation to something more, something shared, something future-facing. This doesn't mean outright asking him on a date or putting pressure on him. It's not about planning anything concrete. It's about planting a seed. A small, playful, or thoughtful suggestion that makes him envision being with you in real life, not just through a screen. Why is this so powerful? Because it subtly shifts the dynamic. Instead of ending on a neutral note, you leave him with something emotionally charged, a vision, a possibility, a feeling of closeness yet to come. It tells him, in the softest way, "I want to see you." But more importantly, it makes him want to see you. Let's start with a simple example. Imagine you've just had a light-hearted, flirty chat. Instead of saying, "Talk to you later," you say, "This would be way more fun if we were laughing about it in person." One day. You didn't schedule anything. You didn't make a demand. But you opened a door. A door that leads to shared experience. And whether he realizes it or not, that thought will echo in his mind. Subtle hints like this create anticipation without obligation. They make him wonder what it would be like to be around you. To hear your laugh, see your expressions, and feel your presence in a way texting can never fully capture. Here's another version: I could talk to you for hours, but I think I'd rather do it over coffee sometime. Again, soft and indirect. You're not asking for anything. You're expressing a preference. You're hinting that your connection could become something real and tangible. That's where magic happens. In the realm of what if and maybe soon. The power of suggestion lies in its openness. You don't box him into a plan. You don't chase him down. You simply let the idea float between the two of you, light as air, yet filled with possibility. Even in emotional or meaningful conversations, the hint can be just as effective. Imagine saying, "Talking to you always calms me. Maybe one day we'll have a real conversation like this under the stars." That message doesn't ask for confirmation. It doesn't seek approval. It simply invites the feeling of togetherness. And that feeling lingers. It lives in his imagination. It becomes something he wants to turn into reality. These moments of soft suggestion are especially effective because they combine emotional intimacy with romantic potential. You're showing him that you enjoy your connection, and that you can see it growing. Not through pressure, but through possibility. Men are naturally drawn to the idea of pursuit. But what makes that pursuit more meaningful is purpose. When you gently offer a glimpse into what being with you might feel like, you give him a reason to take the next step. You give him a picture to chase. Let's say you end a conversation late at night. Instead of "sleep well," you say, "If you were here, I'd probably steal half your blanket and pretend it was an accident." Playful. Intimate. And most importantly, visual. He can see it. He can feel it. He might even smile at the thought of it. That one line changes the way he falls asleep. You become part of his evening, not just someone he texted. Even more casual messages can hold meaning when phrased thoughtfully. Try, "I should probably go before we end up planning a spontaneous road trip or something. Though, that might not be such a bad idea." With that, you've kept the mood light, but also hinted at adventure. You've made him associate time with you as exciting, spontaneous, and full of possibilities. The beauty of this technique is that it works in all stages of connection. If you've just started talking, it builds intrigue. If you're in the middle of something new, it creates momentum. If you're already close, it deepens the emotional thread. And most importantly, it shows confidence. When you're comfortable enough to end a conversation with suggestion instead of silence, it tells him that you value your connection. That you're not afraid to show interest. That you believe your presence in his life is something worth growing. Of course, not every message needs to end with a hint. But sprinkling them in occasionally keeps the spark alive. It makes the conversation dynamic. It creates an emotional rhythm that keeps him engaged and curious. So the next time you're about to say goodnight, pause. Instead of closing the door, leave it slightly ajar. Offer a moment. A wish. A glimpse. Let your final words be a gentle nudge toward something real. Because in the quiet after a conversation ends, what he remembers most is what could come next. Conclusion. In a world where texting has become the most common form of communication, it's easy to overlook the emotional power our words can carry. But when used with intention, a simple message can become something unforgettable. It can linger. It can stir emotion. It can make someone feel seen, desired, and deeply connected, even from miles away. The 6 ways we've explored are not just techniques. They are invitations to intimacy. They're about speaking in a language that goes beyond casual replies or routine check-ins. They're about tapping into memory, imagination, and emotion, three of the most powerful forces that make a man think about you long after the conversation ends. Whether you're evoking emotion, giving a sincere compliment, sparking curiosity, texting at the perfect unexpected moment, gently reminding him of closeness, or ending with a soft invitation to something more, each approach gives your connection depth. It shows thoughtfulness. It makes him feel something rare and real. Because at the end of the day, men remember women who make them feel. Not the ones who text the most, but the ones who leave the strongest emotional footprint. So be that woman. The one whose words are soft, yet unforgettable. The one who doesn't chase attention but captures hearts with presence, warmth, and authenticity. Let your texts be more than messages. Let them be moments he never wants to forget. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. Hopefully the sharing about love and lessons from this video will help you have new thoughts and find empathy. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share it with those around you. Each of us has our own stories about love, and I'm happy to explore them with you. See you in the next videos. Wish you a wonderful and loving day.